Russia has just been caught completely off guard. Reports coming in from the front lines confirm that Ukraine has deployed a never-before-seen SHOCKS-supplied weapon, one that analysts say could tip the battlefield balance in ways no one expected. Early footage and intercepted communications suggest Russian forces were shocked, unprepared, and scrambling to understand what hit them. This isn't just another weapon added to Ukraine's arsenal. This is a game changer. The kind of technology that can disrupt strategies, neutralize key targets, and send a powerful signal to the world. Tonight, we're breaking down exactly what happened and why this moment is so important. Welcome back to the channel. In today's deep dive report, we're taking you inside one of the most significant developments of the war so far. We're going to uncover what this mysterious UK weapon actually is, how and where it was deployed, why it has never appeared on the battlefield until now, and how Russia reacted in the first few minutes after impact. We also explore the strategic meaning behind the UK's decision to greenlight this system for Ukraine, plus expert military analysis on what this weapon could mean for the future of the conflict. Stay with me until the end, because the implications of this deployment reach far beyond a single attack. They could shape the next phase of the war. The weapon Ukraine has just deployed is one that has been quietly discussed behind closed doors for months, but never officially confirmed until now. According to military sources, this system is part of a classified UK program designed to offer next-generation precision, stealth, and standoff capability. While officials haven't released the exact model name, early indicators suggest it could be an upgraded long-range strike system capable of hitting targets far behind Russian lines with unprecedented accuracy. What makes this weapon especially shocking is that it operates using advanced targeting algorithms and counter-jamming technology, meaning Russian air defenses struggle to detect or intercept it. Initial footage suggests that the weapon can fly at extremely low altitudes, avoiding radar and striking with devastating impact. Analysts believe it may be a prototype or a limited production system the UK has been developing with NATO partners. The fact that it was deployed for the first time in Ukraine signals not only trust but urgency. Ukraine needed something Russia could not anticipate. This weapon represents a major leap in capability, and the secrecy surrounding it only adds to the confusion among Russian forces attempting to identify what hit them and how they can defend against it. Reports indicate that the weapon was deployed in a strategically crucial region where Russian forces had recently intensified pressure. Ukrainian commanders selected a target that not only had tactical importance, but also symbolic value in area. Russia believed was secure due to its heavy air defense coverage, according to Ukrainian officials. The mission was executed during nighttime to maximize surprise and minimize the chance of early detection. Witnesses on the ground described hearing an unusual sound shortly before a series of explosions. Unlike traditional missiles, this weapon seemed to approach without triggering standard warning systems. Ukrainian drones captured the aftermath, destroyed command posts, disrupted logistics hubs, and a crater pattern suggesting a high-precision strike. The operation was coordinated with intelligence from both Ukrainian units and Western partners, highlighting the level of planning involved. For Ukraine, this wasn't just an attack, it was a demonstration. By choosing a high-value target deep inside contested territory, Ukraine sent a clear message. Russia can no longer assume distance will protect its assets. The deployment also shows that Ukraine now possesses tools that can operate in environments previously considered too risky or heavily defended. In short, the weapon's first use was both a military operation and a statement to Moscow. Russia's response was instant and chaotic. Intercepted communications from Russian officers reveal confusion and disbelief as they attempted to understand what type of system Ukraine had used. Some units initially assumed it was a modified Storm Shadow or attack sea strike. But the damage pattern didn't match known weapons. Russian state media struggled to craft a unified narrative, some channels downplaying the event, while others claimed it represented a dangerous escalation by NATO. Russian military bloggers, who often break news before official sources, expressed alarm. Many admitted that Russia's current air defense systems may be unable to counter this new threat. Telegram channels linked to Russian soldiers described a sudden shift to heightened alert status, with air defense crews instructed to expect unidentified systems that may bypass conventional detection. In Moscow, the Ministry of Defense issued a vague statement acknowledging foreign-made long-range missiles, but avoided mentioning the UK weapon directly. The lack of clarity only fueled speculation. Behind the scenes, analysts believe Russian command is scrambling to develop a counter-strategy, but without understanding the weapon's technology, their options are limited. The shock factor is real. Russia has been hit by something it cannot fully identify, and that uncertainty is creating panic. The weapon's first deployment produced results that went far beyond a single strike. Ukrainian forces reported that the targeted Russian positions were not just destroyed, they were effectively neutralized. With command centers, equipment, and key communication points wiped out in minutes, the precision of the attack indicates that this weapon doesn't just hit its target, it hits with surgical accuracy, minimizing collateral damage while maximizing strategic impact. Russian forces in the area were forced to retreat and reorganize, creating gaps in their defensive lines. Ukrainian units quickly exploited these weaknesses, advancing into areas that had been difficult to penetrate for weeks. Drone footage revealed abandoned Russian vehicles, scrambled troops, and defensive positions left incomplete due to the sudden chaos. Military experts say that the psychological impact of this weapon may be even greater than its physical destruction. Russian soldiers now face an unpredictable threat that can strike from long distances without warning. This fear disrupts planning, slows troop movements, and complicates logistics. For Ukraine, the weapon has created momentum on the front lines, boosting morale and showing that Western support is not only continuing, but evolving. The battlefield has changed, and Russia is now forced to reconsider its entire defensive strategy. Defense analysts across Europe and the United States quickly weighed in on the weapon's debut. Many believe this marks a major turning point in the conflict, not because one weapon will end the war, but because it demonstrates a new level of Western involvement and technological superiority. Experts from the Royal United Services Institute in London suggested the weapon might be part of a next-generation program focused on defeating Russian electronic warfare systems. If true, it means Russia's reliance on jamming and radar disruption could be significantly undermined. U.S. analysts added that this weapon likely integrates multi-level guidance, combining GPS, terrain mapping, and AI-powered correction systems. This would explain its unmatched precision. They also noted that Russia does not currently field an equivalent system, giving Ukraine a temporary but critical technological edge. Some analysts warn that Russia may attempt to escalate or retaliate against supply routes, but others argue that the psychological and tactical impact already achieved may discourage immediate escalation. NATO experts emphasize that this deployment was almost certainly coordinated at high levels, meaning Ukraine didn't act alone. This was part of a broader strategic message. Overall, experts agree, this weapon changes the battlefield calculus in Ukraine's favor. The timing of the UK's decision to supply this weapon is no coincidence. Analysts believe the UK has been closely monitoring the battlefield situation, waiting for the moment when such a system could make the greatest strategic impact. In recent months, Ukraine has faced increasing pressure along multiple fronts, prompting Western partners to consider new forms of support. For the UK, this weapon serves multiple purposes: strengthening Ukraine's defense, countering Russian escalation, and demonstrating the UK's continued commitment to supporting Kyiv. Political timing may also play a role. The UK government has been under domestic pressure to show results in foreign policy and reaffirm its leadership within NATO. Supplying in advance to previously unseen system reinforces Britain's position as a key arms provider and strategic partner. Additionally, the UK may have assessed that Russia's growing reliance on older Soviet-era gear and stretched supply lines created an opportunity for a disruptive weapon to have maximum effect. By introducing this system now, the UK aims to shift momentum back toward Ukraine, while signaling to Russia that Western support is not weakening, but advancing. It's a strategic move with both military and diplomatic consequences. The deployment of this UK weapon has sparked global debate. NATO allies largely welcomed the move, calling it a necessary step to counter Russian aggression. Countries like Poland, Lithuania, and Estonia praised the UK for taking decisive action. Meanwhile, Germany and France expressed cautious support, emphasizing the need for responsible escalation control. Outside Europe, the United States publicly backed Ukraine's right to defend itself, though analysts believe Washington was briefed in advance about the weapon's deployment. China, however, criticized the move, claiming it could worsen regional instability. Beijing's response is seen as an indirect warning, particularly given its growing ties with Moscow. Neutral countries like India and Brazil expressed concern over escalating military technology in the conflict, urging diplomatic solutions. Russia's allies, including Belarus, condemned the UK and accused NATO of turning Ukraine into a testing ground for experimental weapons, a claim quickly rejected by Western officials. Overall, the geopolitical reaction shows a clear divide. Western nations view the weapon as support for Ukraine's sovereignty, while Russia and its partners see it as a sharp escalation. This divide highlights the broader global implications of the conflict and the increasing role advanced technology plays in shaping political narratives. This new UK weapon introduces a layer of unpredictability into the war that Russia did not anticipate. With its range, accuracy, and stealth, Ukraine can now target strategic assets deep inside contested or occupied territories, something previously far more difficult. This forces Russia to rethink how it positions equipment, supplies, and command posts. It may also weaken Russia's confidence in its air defense network, which has been one of its strongest tools. For Ukraine, this weapon boosts morale and offers a critical technological edge. It represents not just a single strike, but the beginning of a new phase of advanced Western systems entering the battlefield. If more units of this type are supplied, Ukraine could reshape several frontline scenarios. However, experts warn that Russia may attempt to retaliate by deploying more drones, missiles, or electronic warfare systems. The conflict could become more technologically driven, with both sides racing to outsmart each other. The deployment also puts pressure on other NATO members to consider sharing more advanced systems. Ultimately, this weapon signals a shift. The war is evolving, and Ukraine is no longer just defending. It is gaining tools that can redefine the strategic landscape. The next phase may be more intense, more advanced, and more unpredictable than ever. As we wrap up this report, one thing is clear: Ukraine's deployment of this never-before-seen UK weapon has sent shockwaves through the battlefield and beyond. Russian forces were caught off guard, and the psychological and strategic impact of this strike cannot be understated. This is not just about one operation. It's a demonstration of Ukraine's growing access to advanced Western technology and the evolving dynamics of the war. The coming weeks will be crucial in determining whether this weapon changes the balance of power or sparks further escalation. What do you think? Can this new system shift the war in Ukraine's favor? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for all the latest updates from the front lines.